lero turakorake tukugize mukama mitwijuke kitinisa keihanga yaitubunyoro.
May we remain standing as I invite our religious leaders, the Right Reverend Samuel Kahuma, Reverend Monsignor Robert Mugisa, Sheikh Babanja Musa, to come. Then Right Reverend Samuel Kahuma will lead us. Your Excellency, today we dedicate this very key milestone to God and thank Him for this journey so far. Your Right Reverend, please go ahead.
We welcome Your Excellency and all the dignitaries present. And the people that are here have already been introduced, but we also have the retired Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Bishop Stanley Ntagali. Your Excellency, allow me just to say thank you so much for the enormous support you have given to the Diocese of Bunyoro Kitara. I will now invite the Sheikh to lead us in the prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, all ministers and all companies, CNOOC in particular, and all those represented here. We want to thank God for this day, Your Excellency, and I want to remind all Ugandans that this is a blessing from God. We thank God for giving us the oil and gas in this Albertine region. And then secondly, I want to remind all Ugandans and the people concerned that oil and gas, a great blessing from the Lord, the great designer, the artist, the creator of heaven and earth. It is to help Ugandans to be blessed, and we shall continue to worship God. So we thank you, Your Excellency, that in your time we have had the discovery of oil and gas. Let us use this God-given resource to the glory of God and to develop our country, and Bunyoro Kingdom in particular, that all Ugandans will benefit. So we thank God, the Almighty God, for this great blessing. May God bless you all.
Amen.
And this is a prayer. God, our loving Father, the giver of everything that is good, we are grateful for your love to us. This is realized even in the event of today. We continue to thank you for the precious items that you kept underground in this area for us Ugandans, ready to be exploited by the wide leadership in this country, spearheaded by our President, Museveni Kaguta. We thank you for the success already achieved, our God. Our main prayer today is to please kindly bless this occasion, indeed the occasion in its entirety. We ask you not only to bless the beginning of this process, bless the entire work. Our technical persons urgently need your continued blessing. We will continue to appreciate your daily accompaniment on our journey to prosperity, using the proceeds from these efforts. Continue to guide us in all ways. Guide our president, guide our lawmakers, guide us all, guide us, everybody. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with your Excellency and all people present today and forevermore. Amen.
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, with your permission, and I have had a caucus with everyone, which was chaired by our Minister, the Minister of Energy, and we've agreed to keep you here for a very, very short time. But also allow you, Your Excellency, to speak to us and talk to us through this Uganda oil journey. And so you will notice that our speeches will be much shorter, so we can give you enough time to speak to us. Your Excellency, to manage this particular space and schedule, allow me just run through the protocol and request that anyone speaking hereafter doesn't run through the entire protocol because it's quite lengthy. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Jessica Lupo, the Honorable Ministers present, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors, and Your Excellency, we have the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Li Zhang, who is here with us. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And with us also, Your Excellency, is the Tanzanian Ambassador to Uganda, representing, of course, the United Republic of Tanzania, Ambassador Dr. Aziz Mulima. Our permanent secretaries, and Your Excellency, we have representation across the different ministries. We have, of course, our permanent secretary, your own daughter here, Engineer Irene Batebe. We have the permanent secretary for Ministry of Trade, the permanent secretary, Ministry of Water, the permanent secretary, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, a representative of the permanent secretary, Ministry of Lands, and the permanent secretary, representative of the Ministry of Education. Your Excellency, we also have representation from the district, and at this point, allow me request the district leadership to stand. We have the LC5 chairperson for our host district, Chikube, but he also has other local government leaders who are here. Local government leaders, please stand. The President needs to see that you're well represented here. Among these are, of course, your own, Your Excellency, the RDCs of the neighboring districts and the Chikube district itself. As you also saw, Your Excellency, we have the kingdom represented here. The Prime Minister of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom is here. Please stand for recognition, Prime Minister. He's there on the other side. We want to thank you, sir, for joining us. Our religious leaders have been introduced and welcomed. I think we need to put our hands together again for our religious leaders who have dedicated this very key milestone to God on behalf of Uganda. Your Excellency, the bulk of the conversation we will have here today is about our joint venture partners. May I, in a very special way, recognize them, and I'll invite them in different groups to stand. Our host, CNOOC, please stand. They are led by the President of CNOOC Uganda. We want to thank you, sir, and your team for inviting us and for getting to this milestone. And our joint venture, UNOC, that is led by the CEO, Proskovia Nabanja. Please stand with your team, and she has the full team here from the from UNOC, the National Oil Company. And of course, Total Energies, the delegation led by Mr. Philip Gruex. Philip Gruex has the Total Energies country chair and is the country chair and general manager. His team comprises the Director Business Development, Corporate Affairs, Jean Gavalda, But also, Your Excellency, we have the joint venture manager, Faustine Mugisha, who is here with us. And I want in a very special way to recognize the ECOP team. ECOP team, if you could stand. They are here led by the MD Martin Tifen and the Deputy MD John Bosco Mugisha, my namesake. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. But a very special group, our regulator, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. Please stand. Led by their Executive Director, Ernest Rubondo. Please stand, Petroleum Authority of Uganda. We want to thank you, sir, ED and your team for the journey thus far. Your Excellency, we have the contractor, the main contractor for this well pad 2, the commencement that we are launching and commissioning today, China Oilfield Services Limited. The Vice President all the way from China came with his team. Please stand, COSL, for recognition. We want to thank you, sir, for joining us. Also with us, Your Excellency, are the MDAs that are well represented here. Allow me to recognize the Executive Director, Uganda National Roads Authority, Ms. Allen Kajina, who is here with us. The Commissioner General, Uganda Revenue Authority, John, please stand for recognition, Rijochi. And of course, NEC, and I know, Your Excellency, you began there. And, you know, Brigadier Afande Sabiti, you know, with them, if you don't know the rank properly, you just say Afande. General Sabiti is also here with us. We have several members of the security forces who are represented here, and I see some of the directors here from the Uganda Police Force. I think I saw Frank Mwesigwa, who is here. We want to thank you, sir, and your team for the job you're doing there. Your Excellency, as I mentioned, the protocol is quite long, and I'm requesting, when you're invited to speak, please just say that the MC recognized the protocol, allow me to go to my speech. So you will be protected, and I will protect you. Your Excellency, before I invite, and as I invite actually the LC1 chair, Mr. Nsonga Dismas, please come very quickly. The LC1 chair, you should come as you come, Your Excellency. Is Dismas very close? Please come. We need you to welcome us. Your Excellency, this particular village and where we are in Chikube has welcomed us, and we've had a great time here. LC, just come and greet. Oh, my apologies, I noticed. The members of parliament, my apologies. Please stand for recognition. I could hear members of parliament. Please stand for recognition. My apologies. I know they will speak later. My apologies. I know you're on the program. LC1 Chair, please welcome us.
So, His Excellency, President White wa Uganda, na abakuru bona amadaraga kwawukana. Nja kubanza kutangira President White hawakwija mu kiweka kya itu kintu kya kiku muja kunganyira nyiho masi. Hawakwija kutubungira mu kiweka kya itu kya Kingfisher mu kyaro kya Nsonga Village Buhuka Paris kya Ngwali Sub County. President lini iraka lya abataka bange bakutangirire hamu nibagamba webale muno kwija okurora nti kya lero okire wakingura mafuta gaitu. President abataka basimire muno government yawe hamuna ya NRM nibagamba nda bakunkozesa iraka lyange kuleta okusima kwao. Okusima kwako kubanza hano mu Buhuka tukabataina muhanda kurugira mu government yawe tusoboire kuba tufuna muhanda kandi guli gwa kolasi. Buli twaferwaga abakazi tubarabya mu maizi runi tubetika wetika kubatembya rusozi bayinenda twafera bayingi bayitu kuruga watukoleire muhanda omukazi akwatwe kisa kya lero nyenkya nagena nazara no garuka no mukazi wawe bebale muno president ukora gyokozere wajja yongera amafuta gayitu gatwongeire mirimo abayusi babaire ni basohani bayiba bayitu mafuta kuruga gayizire gonza atasomere akukora funire mulimo aho tusimire muno okuteekamu amaani twakiora baba n'okusaba anti obongerewa okuba eno ati nk'okwo kichweka kigenze kigenda nikurakurana kigenda kuika town council already bagituhaire bakusaba government tuongere enguudo bunu bukurabara mututeyo tamaka road twe hanu kichweka kya munsonga arundi kya buhuka tuli basohi tubayiremu mu basohi bakemberezaho nso hambi kandi kabeka kwaso abantu bayingi muno babayire nibakozesa nsoho egyo gwira bemereze bantu bawe bali mukubonabona babayire n'okusaba akiri babatekeo loan irunde kuwa supportinga ebitimba basasurege mpora bikwikirizi babiri hamuna na engine kwa president bakiora bangamba nti nkugambira tova kukubu bali hamuna iwe itwena tukwatira hamu president kubyo tukoleire titukwenda kuhereza abakulembezi bakwefora abantu bakubouncing tugenda hamu na iwe mzee tukiali hamu mzee habi amasemero abataka ba munsonga bakusaba nkoko mafutage izire babatero ka vocational school hakuwa bino giri mirimo yengaro ebongereo na kya kandi basaba isemero lya secondary school lya seed abo kuba kyangwali kutemba kurugano genda kyangwali bana bamazire primary hanu distance erindaira okutemba rusozi oko nakuo kubaire kusaba ku bantu mire ndete ira kali yao muzei ha bya womezi tulina health center siri nkoko population yeyongeiro na bakozi ba baizire hano bahiaka kandi tuli haboda buli kiro tufuna bagenyi kurugo okwo nabanu beyongere population yeyongera bagamba akiri tuongere irwaru lyaito lihika health center 4 oko nako kusaba bagambire kulete ira kalinu sona honkrora hawakaire nyendeze kweza kaire katito bindi tuchotolistingire akwatwa ho ja kumusaba rundi tuongere kabasa karoja kuravya mwa iso na nyowe nkachiamani wakichweka kinu mzee jaja waitu obugaiga byona bihanu meeting buzibanziri kyangwali kyakubanza nya kusima bebale kutwa bugali baitu kandi distance kutemba agenda kyangwali bile wona ba mafuta wandi bakutweta butukerereza kagali kangerereza uzemba ni saba wakiri agonzeka pikipiki webale munone bigambo bitito byange ni byebyo mukama akulinde akuhikie kurungi
I think for those of you who don't understand the oil language, you lost out on a lot. Please check that your neighbor knows some Runyoro. You will be able to catch this very interesting conversation the LC chairman was giving us. May I take the pleasure, Your Excellency, of inviting the district leadership, the chair of the Chikube district local government. He's also accompanied by the woman member of parliament for Chikube, and also the area, this particular county area member of parliament. Your Excellency, we have spoken with them at length, and they promised to keep it very short. And that's why we've had to bring all of them together at the same time. And Your Excellency, for the ministers, I know you would punish them if they overrun their time. I think these ones I will deal with them myself.
A new dawn has indeed set on this motherland. The journey to fast-tracking the production of oil by 2025 is truly being walked. Your Excellency and the dignitaries present, I am Peter Banura, the district chairman. and a son of the revolution, and carrying on the agenda of the NRM government. It is with profound joy that the people of this lovely district, Chikube, warmly welcome you and all the visitors to this place. It is indeed an honor to host you for the very first time since the inception of this district in 2018. Your Excellency, the resolve you had to first benchmark and build the capacity of our local experts in the field of the likes of Mr. Kabagambe Kalisa, Ernest Rubondo, among others, was indeed a visionary milestone that we highly behold. Thank you for the patience and zeal exhibited not to hurriedly sign the oil agreements. Your Excellency, there were lots of myths about this oil resource, and many a people doubted its existence amid its multiple enemies' subversive campaigns, which you today disapprove with this parting ceremony. Mr. President, sir, we, the residents, seek your intervention into the following issues to maximize the potentialities that come with the resource. Extension of ferry services to ease transport and business opportunities between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo just across. There are quite a number of emerging towns that are not connected to the national grid, which inhibits the spur of businesses and small-scale production to advance the linkages across various sectors. Installation of power transformers is deeply needed, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Chikube district, being a refugee hosting district, unfortunately missed out on the Youth Meet program. I don't know why. And we hope that with the right interventions, we'll be able to get this benefit. And Your Excellency, as a matter of fact, we as the district team, we have serious intentions of promoting this district as a tourism destination, and therefore upgrade of the Kisaru airfield at Kisaru Tea Estate in Kaboya sub-county to harness the tourism potential and ease the mobility of local business communities is highly needed. Mr. President, sir, sensitization of our sugarcane outgrower farmers to embrace large-scale farming and desist from fragmentation of their land is ongoing. It is my humble appeal to have them availed with tractors to support the mechanization process and minimize the expenses incurred through hiring. The border community, Mr. President, is very, very instrumental in not only offering transport services, but also transforming the economic livelihood of our youth. We have encouraged them to organize themselves into sub-county-based associations from all the 5 sub-counties across the district. It's my humble appeal that a special grant be availed to support their operations and financial growth. Mr. President, allow me to report to you about the rampant incidences of land wrangles in the district, among which include the standing resentment harbored by the earlier displacements of the Kijayo and Bukinda communities. The latter have been camped in Manyatas at the office of the RDC for the last 1 year. This has really exposed our youth, the women, the children, and the elderly to social discrimination, economic marginalization, and a biased perception that peaceful action is no longer a viable strategy for change. With a population of over 300 households, this camp, Your Excellency, of an employed population is a security threat to our district and country, and they are vulnerable to recruitment by enemy subversive groups. Letters have been written, meetings held, pronouncements made, but all in vain. All in vain, Your Excellency. I seek for a sustainable and permanent resettlement action plan to abate avoidable extremes of criminality and conflicts. Mr. President, Chikube is a multi-ethnic community, and a lot of multinationals have ably invested in our area. We should not entertain any subversive tribal sentiments that would jeopardize the progress so far achieved by the NRM government in the region. On several occasions, you have addressed the need for embracing diversity and disregarding these sectarian and tribalistic tendencies to attain socio-economic transformation. As a district chairman, I condemn any manifestations of tribalism and thus call out to all my fellow leaders to pursue proactive and solution-oriented leadership for the sake of harmony in our beautiful district and advancing a patriotic spirit among those we serve. We really ought to influence those we lead by example. Your Excellency, I have one of my councillors, a lady called Daisy. She's the only lady who has managed to get enrolled in the Soroti Flying School. We have a beautiful airport here, which indeed we are blessed to have in the region, an international airport. And it is our joy and hope that being the only girl in the region, how I wish she would be supported. She joined, she's up and running, moving in the flying school, but she needs your support in terms of sponsorship such that she's able to achieve the dream. We cannot be seeing aeroplanes in the region here and we have none of our daughters flying this, and she has shown the commitment that she can handle. In conclusion, our resolute efforts to safeguard our oil resource is a promise we shall indeed fulfill. On a lighter note, I convey greetings from Major General Matayo Kialigonza for God and my country.
Your Excellency the President, Tata Akiki, I'm Honorable Natumanya Flora Banjirana, Woman Member of Parliament, Habanyamasaza ya Kube. Tata Akiki nkwenda kusima, habo kutwebembera kurungi, mu Uganda yaitu watwiki birungi nkabinu, ebya mafuta. Tata nkusima, obwiro bwoikaire, emyaka 5 ehoire, otereho obulyo bwona, obokuteka haba kugu, abokozere nabo, kurora ntwikira kiro kyo kugobora omafuta gaitu ombunyoro no mu Uganda yona. Tata Akiki nkwenda kusima habwe ngude zotwaire mu Kikube district. Kikube district tukusima na mbetu kuraba hona tuine ngude nungi ezikutwikya hamarwaro ezitwankwa kwikya na mbetu kwa ntugenda. Baitu Tata Akiki nkwenda kwijukya nditwine orugudo rwa Kabwoya Kyangwali. Abantu borugudaho bona bakabahe sente babakompensatinga. Baitu orugudo rwo tilisoboire okora. Tata Akiki mbe ninkusaba orugudo rwa Kabwoya Kyangwali bararukora rujja kutuyambaho kandi ruongere omukugobora amafuta gotwaire. Tata Akiki mbe ninkusaba abantu ba Kikube tutungiremu obusuma bwa mataka na land wrangles nyingi. Mbe ninkusaba Tata Akiki kurabira mu Ministry ya Lands otuhireyo land policy eri special habwa Kikube district. Mukurabira mu certificate of customary ownership. Ebyape ebyo bija kutuyamba ba bona fide occupants batungire ebyape ebyo obusuma bwa mataka bija kendera mu Kikube district. Kandi abantu ba Kikube bangambira obora bakolere kyo tata oja kuba obatangiro omaisoko. Tukura nti Kikube district ekirarulengo rwa international tata abana abayijukuru bawe bakugobora mu mafuta habwe binte habwa katala akabairo habya ba mafuta balimi kandi bakurunda enkoko bainente bakurunda baitu bakwetaga mu support. Abakyara bakikube bantumire bali bakozi bakulima kandi bakwenda kwetekaniza na katala kakota kagenda kuija habwa mafuta baitu tibaina bikwato. Abakyara abayijukuru bawe bakwenda tractor ezibarakozesa. Nkoko kakugaba tractors tukura no gaboko abakyara bakikube kyakubaire kirungi tata buli sub county no twa tractor ombakyara na ba youth. Bato tractor kusoboka bwangu ezora twani zozo omunyora agamba komba esinga tegura ezora twatuja kutandikira Tata Akiki. Tata Akiki tukwenda kusima habwa technical ya UPIC eyiwatero kiryandongo ekuturukia abana kandi abana babatwaire kuruga hanu ni babaha degrees ni baturuka mu diplomas. Baitu Tata Akiki twino bwetagi bukoto muno chairman LC wana kibalizeho kyangwalenu tukwendo tuyambe kuraba mu social corporate responsibility abantu abutulina abaana abamafuta batuteekereho training school kandi okulaba kitakusoboka taata gavumenti yaabwe tukwesiga nti okusobola kuteerawo training school ey'amaanyi hano ekutraining a skilled and unskilled labor tulole nti abaana baitu bagobolweremu muno tukubalora abandi babe ne batrainingira Masindi abandi institutes ziri Kampala and institute ya Nile College Duhaga baitu hano tulina abazaire abatakwesobola muno abatakusobola kutwala abaana baabo haro okwo oteererewo hano institute ekubayamba muno ebatunga emirimu n'ebyo taata akikuwebale muno ebyo tukoleire Mukama akulinde.
Mr. President, I'm called Kazini Francis, the Member of Parliament for Buhaguzi County, na hali tuli hano. Mgonzo kusima habo kuija hano, kandi kuruga ruhanga hange nsenu, niwe President wangabandize kuija hano. Kandi niwe President wenka, abandize kuija kutongoza amafuta gano. Kandi, tuija kurwana na amani, okurura nti waruga hameini na abayijukuru bawo bano baroho nibemberwa Harriet Sali na abandi okitinisa President district ene ya Kikube kubagambire erinonge muno baitu harumu abantu bawo muno aba bakwendo taruga hameini abakiro obwingi ababingirwa mataka gabo batabingiro mafuta baitu babingirwa government yenyini ekyo kurora aho refugee settlement ekabinga abantu emitwaro mukaga bavukinda bali mu office ya RDC hali bazalireho bakuzalira hero nk'ebisoro kandi bazala abana na mefa habo kubenjule kubatera okirisa President mwagwe 2016 okahandike baruha no gamba abantu abagaruko mu mataka gabo bata abamu abantu abali mu government mu nabataka kugondeza ebirungi abantu abo baba hakana garukayo. Tata President, Mukama wa Uganda kandi se waitu. Ensonga ene eri ntito muno. Tukusaba ragira mutabani wa Wamlantu musimara disano. Abantu abensonga ejagi mali. Abantu bakubona. Okitinisa President, ngonzo kusima ngo hali tuli hano. Itwena tuli bayero engero kuturora. Kandi ngonza no kusima chama nero sisiro mukuru bisemezali chwaka kino. Ngabo kubatu ebembire kurungi kana harara kuhubira omukono. Tujagena maiso ntukusagika kandi wekitinisa President tukusima muno habwa university yaitu ya Bunyoro kandi ada President tukwetaga tukwatanize naiwe habo kuba maino charoho okura nti university ejo wayongera mesente kandi tukusima no kwa appointing Professor Chama nyakuli hano akuhobira omukono na waroho professor aina magezi gona gakwetagisa kutanisa university ejo tule nyima yaye omulimo tujja gukora wekitinisa President. Owekitinisa President ekitweka kinengero kiro na halora biroko hona titwina masanyaraze bitweke bikiro obwingi kandi kitweka kina abantu bali baine byokuliye trading centers zikura baita amasanyaraze tigaliyo. Minister wa energy oli hano tukusaba maiso ga President ojeria lyo tuhereza amasanyaraze bitweke bikura kurana kandi hali gali agakubaguruka transformatero ekitweka ani oil district la Kikube tesemire kubura amasanyaraze abari kugonze bachiku tuswaza muno kandi twena tuli ba yero. Okitinisa President tujja kusaba buhuka kubajigambire tukwadaga town council nebindi but the main road ekuleta buhuka kuruga hano dine zibakora bimotoka bino bikora mu short cut kuli but the main road hano obukuruga kuloliwa black ja kwikana bukusa kweta mujungu echuche mihanda mbi andako kongani kwa hatulezeremo negative ako mihanda yono jikozere apart from the main road ekuleta amafuta hano. Tata President kusaba omuhanda ogwo abantu kabakompashatinga wabasasura busono mako banja tukwetaga bwetage sahe tandike omuhanda ogwo gukorwe. Okitinisa President kankangire hano ninyo Kazini Francis member parliament cheka kino ayiteka nizokora naiwe kandi ajja kurwana buchweke hembo kora ntiwaruga hameini webale muno kuija hano.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the district leaders and the area members of parliament. Your Excellency, it's very fortunate that the Honorable Nankabira sits in the same house with the Honorable Francis, so he will translate what he was requesting for. But you know, electricity, even in Runyoro, sounded like English, so I'm sure Masanyarazi, you watch Tegede, Honorable, watch Tegede. Aha. Your Excellency, I take the pleasure of inviting the Vice President of the China Oilfields Services Limited, the contractors here in Kingfisher, to come and make their remarks. Your Excellency, as they come, our daughters in Luyanzi Institute of Technology entertained us here. The daughters of your granddaughters were here speaking very fluent Chinese and had a very nice piece of entertainment for us. Vice President, you're most welcome.
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Vice President of Uganda, Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, dear guests, in your distinguished capacity, ladies and gentlemen, today we are here to grandly hold the ceremony for spudding of CNOOC, Uganda Kingfisher oil field drilling project. Here, on behalf of COSO, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all those who care about, support, and help COSO's development. COSO is one of the largest oil field service providers in the world, with more than 26,000 employees, providing service throughout all stages of offshore and onshore, including exploration, development, and production. The business layout covers more than 30 countries and regions around the world. On the occasion of 60th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relationship between China and Uganda, China's first 8,000 meters automatic drilling rig should officially serve Uganda's first large-scale oil field development and construction project. On 29 July last year, the drilling rig was loaded at Yantai Port, China, and arrived in Mombasa early September. DDG, a consortium of Uganda's registered companies, was then contracted to transport the rig from Mombasa to Kingfisher. Reaffirm our commitment to national content promotion. We completed the transportation and commissioning of this rig in November last year. It took COSO 270 days to complete the design, manufacturing, transportation, installation, and preparation for the spudding operation, which strongly demonstrated China's smart manufacturing and China's speed. In order to make this a high-quality project and protect the environment of Perry of Africa, COSO dedicate superior resource to build this rig. Together with Xuanji RSS sister, LWD sister, Alice sister, logging truck, cementing engineer vehicles, totally more than 1,000 pieces of equipment and tools. This rig is a deluxe land rig customized for the Kingfisher project in Uganda. It is the first 8,000 meters fully automated silent rig in Africa. Equipped with leading technology, such as well-set denoising control system, zero discharge system, and type clone automation system. The whole set of equipment can support the integrated operation of various wearable and well types. And during these operations can effectively protect the regional ecology environment. COSO is fully committed to national content development and already recruit and trained a total 165 national employees in the field of QHSE, training technology management. And we will further include local people according to the progress of the project, and training more petroleum technology and management talent for Uganda. Now, COSO has also contracted over 100 local service companies with total contract value of over $10 million to support our operations. Finally, we wish the Kingfisher oil field a smooth and successful starting operation. We believe the efficient development of Kingfisher oil field in Uganda will promote and benefit the local people, as well as promote the high efficiency development of Uganda's oil industry. Thanks.
Your Excellency, as I invite the President CNOOC to come, I want in a very special way for us to also celebrate with the People's Republic of China the Chinese New Year, which they celebrated 2 days ago on the 22nd. If we can put our hands together for the Chinese New Year. This particular year, 2023, and Mr. President, you can come, is the year of the rabbit, Your Excellency. So, Your Excellency, I now take the pleasure of inviting Mr. Shen Jianbao, the President, CNOOC Uganda Limited, to come and make his address. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause.
Your Excellency, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of Uganda Republic. Today is an amazing day for all of us to gathering here. It is a great step towards achieving our target of first oil by 2025. As such, it gives me great pleasure to have all of you here with us to witness the sparkling that took place hours ago. It is indeed a great way to start off the new year In Chinese culture, we consider this time of double happiness because we have entered the Chinese New Year of the rabbit, and at the same time, we have sparked our first production year. 2023, thank you. 2023, we believe, is going to be a year of good luck. Thank you. First and foremost, I thank you, Your Excellency, and the government team for the leadership and guidance that you have accorded to us throughout this journey to ensure the progression of the Kingfisher development projects and the oil and gas sector generally. We appreciate your commitment to ensure sustainable development of the oil and gas resources in the country. Your Excellency, following the announcement of first FID on 1st of February 2022, CNOOC Uganda Limited, together with our partner Total Energy and CNOOC, embarked on the journey to attain first oil in 2025. And I must affirm that we are still committed to ensuring we attain this with the support of the government. In 2022, we award major contracts for engineering, procurement, and construction of surface engineering, the integrated drilling contract, among others. This kicked off the Kingfisher oil field construction. And at this point, I wish to express my gratitude to all our contractors for your diligence and hard work towards delivering the Kingfisher projects. Your Excellency, CNOOC Uganda Limited is and remains committed to achieving national content in the oil and gas sector through employment and training of Ugandan national, utilization of the locally available goods and services, the transfer of technology, knowledge, and skill to Ugandan citizens, companies, and institutions. We have employed a total of 160 national staff directly and 3,500 through our contractors. We also hold quarterly supplier capacity building, information sharing workshop regarding tender opportunities available and how the local company can participate in procurement process and supply its goods and services to the sector. Your Excellency, we're happy to inform you that the land required for the Kingfisher project has all been acquired, and all project affected persons compensated, and we have supported them with livelihood restoration program and improving their standard of living, including construction of resettlement homes for those that were physically displaced. A total of 65 resettlement houses has been handed over to the project affected person. The company had further carried out social economic benefit activities and projects, including upgrade the rehabilitation of the Buhuka Gulabiti clean water system, community cleaning initiative, tree planning, and medical support to local community, to mention but a few, which have contributed to the social well-being of the local community. The Buhuka Gulabiti clean water system, covering 5 villages for 13,000 people. We would therefore like to thank the community and the leaders of our host community for the trust and support you have given us as a company. Your Excellency, I wish to reiterate that CNOOC Uganda Limited is and has always been a firm believer in being a responsible energy company, and that is exactly what we put into practice. All of our operations are in strict compliance with the relevant laws and regulations, and our operational protocol live up to the best practice of industry. By doing so, we spare no effort to minimize our potential impacts and to protect the environment in our area of operation here. We shall continue to ensure efficient and effective development of the Kingfisher developed area in an environmentally friendly and sustainable manner. CNOOC Uganda Limited shall always continue its determination to promote the highly quality development of the Belt and Road Initiative and build a China-Africa community with a shared future. Thank you for listening to me, and I wish you safety and health for you and your family. Thank you.
Mr. Shen Jabao Sheshe, thank you so much for your remarks. And surely, ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause for this milestone CNOOC has achieved. Your Excellency, this is a very, very huge milestone in our oil journey as a country. And this is being broadcast live to the entire country on Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. I had to mention that just so that the Minister knows that when she comes to speak, she'll not be addressing only the audience here, but will be speaking to the nation. Your Excellency, I take the pleasure now of inviting the Executive Director of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. I also want to mention as he comes that his board chair, and board chair please stand for recognition, his board chair is here, and some of the members of the board. So board chair and members of the board, you can stand for recognition. There you go, a round of applause. You look very smart in your unique attire. You're welcome, Ernest Rwanda.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, all protocol observed. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to make some remarks on behalf of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda at this important occasion when we witness the starting of drilling the wells which will produce crude oil from the Kingfisher oil field. I would like to start by thanking Your Excellency for the strategic stewardship of the oil and gas sector over the years, dating back from the 1980s to today, when we are witnessing this significant milestone towards Uganda becoming a major oil and gas producer. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda congratulates CNOOC Uganda Limited, and through CNOOC Uganda Limited, congratulates the joint venture partners of Total Energies and the Uganda National Oil Company for achieving today's milestone in the journey towards the production of fast oil in Uganda. CNOOC Uganda Limited held a groundbreaking ceremony to commence construction here on the 11th of February 2022. Many of you will recall that this was only 10 days after the announcement of the final investment decision for the country's oil and gas projects. The company is now commencing the drilling of production wells less than 1 year after the announcement of the final investment decision. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, therefore, commends CNOOC Uganda Limited as operator, together with its partners and contractors, for the progress achieved to date in the development of this project. Your Excellency, I would like to request you to allow me to spend 3 minutes talking about where we are coming from as a country to reach here. The work that has led to these developments commenced in the 1980s when the government staff, who Your Excellency sent for training, returned to Uganda and formed the petroleum unit in the Geological Survey of Mines Department. These staff commenced the collection of geological and geophysical information in the Semliki Basin, and the Semliki Basin is about 40 kilometers south of where we are now. These staff were led by Dr. Kabagambe Kalisa, who is now a senior presidential advisor. They included Mr. Ruben Kashambuzi, who is now fully retired in Chegwega, and he led the geophysical team. I had the opportunity to lead the geological team. Your Excellency, there were other members of this team who included Mr. Robert Kasande, who is now a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Justice. They included the Prime Minister of the Bunyoro Kingdom, Mr. Andrew Byakutaga. They included Mr. Hane Malinga, who is the Director for Petroleum in the Ministry of Energy. They included Mr. Fred Kawanda, who is now a Commissioner for Natural Resources at the African Development Bank. And later, they included Ms. Proskovia Nabanja, who is now the CEO of the Uganda National Oil Company, and Ms. Irene Batebe, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. The training continued, Your Excellency, and now over 200 government staff have been trained in oil and gas activities in the government. The promotional effort undertaken by this team, well, first of all, the staff used the information which they collected in the field to promote the country's oil and gas sector to foreign investors, mainly in the United States of America and Europe. The objective of this promotion was to attract investment into the sector, and this was mainly at the end of the 1980s and the early 1990s. The promotional effort led to the licensing of Petrofina and the Uganda General Works Limited in 1991 and 1995, respectively. However, both these companies left the country without carrying out any work. Government continued to acquire information in these areas and to use this information to attract investors in the sector. In 1997, government licensed Heritage Oil and Gas for the southern part of Lake Albert, that is this area continuing to the south. And this company acquired seismic data, but also drilled 2 wells in 2002 and 2005. These wells were the Turako 1 and Turako 1 wells. Your Excellency, if I may remind you, Your Excellency, you visited the Turako 2 well as it was being drilled on the 30th of April, 2005. The 2 wells were successful because they encountered petroleum in the ground, only that the petroleum which they discovered was contaminated with carbon dioxide. The license for Heritage and its partners expired in 2005 because their time had passed, and the company was relicensed for the northern part of the area which they had. Initially, they had up to 4,630 square kilometers, but the law requires that they relinquish 50%. And so the new relicensing in 2005 only licensed them 1,990 square kilometers. And this is the area which was relicensed to them. Heritage and its partner Energy Africa drilled the first exploration well on this Kingfisher prospect in 2006. The well discovered oil at a depth of 2,125 meters, which is just over 2 kilometers. 3 more wells were drilled on this Kingfisher discovery, and all the 3 wells encountered petroleum, and so the field was confirmed as the second commercial discovery after the first discovery of the Mputa field in the Kaisotonya area. And the Kaisotonya area is also about 40 kilometers north of where we are. Heritage and Talo eventually sold their shares to Total and CNOOC, and the minister granted a petroleum production license to Total and CNOOC in 2012. CNOOC, Total Energies, and the Uganda National Oil Company have completed plans to produce crude oil from this Kingfisher oil field, and Kingfisher oil field is one of the projects for which the final investment decision was announced at the beginning of last year. And that's why this commencement of drilling the production wells has commenced here today. When the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is regulating the work of oil companies in the country, it focuses on 5 key areas. These areas are management of petroleum resources, management of costs and economic analysis, management of petroleum data and information, health, safety and environment, and the participation of Ugandans. Regarding resource management, the Kingfisher oil field is one of the 21 oil and gas fields which have been discovered in Uganda to date. This oil field is among the 14 fields which the minister has granted a license for production. That means that 7 of the oil and gas discoveries have not qualified to be granted production licenses by the minister. The Kingfisher oil field is about 15 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. The length of the oil field extends from the northern part that side to the southern part that side. And where we are here, we are about the middle of the oil field. The oil field extends from the shore of the lake there and extends for about 3 kilometers into the lake. Your Excellency, when you talk about an oil field extending into the lake, some people may worry that it extends into the Democratic Republic of Congo. I would like to assure the audience that at the western end of this oil field, you still have more than 10 kilometers before you reach the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. I may have made it sound easy by saying the oil field stands on the shore here and goes 3 kilometers, but please remember that this oil field is 2 kilometers into the ground. So I'm just saying that if you project that oil field up here, this is where it will start. Therefore, the oil wells that are being drilled to produce oil from this oil field are being drilled on the land here, and they deviate under the lake in order to reach the different parts of the oil field. The Kingfisher oil field is estimated to have a total of 560 million barrels of oil in place. Out of this, 190 million barrels of oil, which is about 33%, is expected to be produced over a period of 20 to 25 years. This oil field is expected to have a maximum production of 40,000 barrels of oil per day for 5 years. After that 5 years, the production of this oil field will begin to decline, so you will have less oil produced. The field development plan, which the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development has approved, provides that when production at this oil field begins to decline, the company will start producing from the 3 oil fields of Waraga, Mputa, and Nzizi, which are in the Kaiso-Tonya area, 40 kilometers north of here. Production from these 3 oil fields will enable to maintain the production of the Kingfisher project, and the oil produced from those 3 oil fields in the Kaiso-Tonya area will be transported by pipeline to a processing facility that is going to be located here. The drilling rig, which Your Excellency has just switched on, will be used to drill the 27 production wells on this oil field. This oil field is going to have a total of 31 wells. 4 of these wells are already drilled because they were drilled for exploration and they were drilled for appraisal. So the additional 27 wells are going to be drilled using this drilling rig. But this drilling rig will also go into the old wells to prepare them for production, because those days they were prepared for exploration. 20 of these oil wells will be used to produce oil, while 11 of these wells will be used to inject water into the reservoir so that the production is improved. This brand new state-of-the-art rig, which the Vice President of COSUL has explained, was specifically designed for the Kingfisher field. It is so far the strongest rig that has been used in this country. It is very strong, and uses about 6 megawatts of power in operation. I have been informed that 6 megawatts of power is round about what the entire Hoima district and its surrounding areas consume. The rig has the capacity to drill up to 8 kilometers length. It has noise suppressing technology, and this makes it more environmentally friendly. The wells to be drilled in the Kingfisher field will vary in depth. The shortest will be about 2,600 meters, which is over 2 kilometers, and the longest will be about 7,400 meters in length. The difference is dependent on where you drill from the starting point to how far the target is. It's important to note that these wells are not vertical wells, but they are actually deviated to actually reach the different targets. Up to 10 wells will be drilled before the production of first oil in 2025. These 10 wells will be added on to the 4 which were earlier drilled to make a total number of 12 for this field. The rest of the wells will be drilled as production progresses. Regarding the costs and economic analysis so far of this field, investment in developing the Kingfisher oil field is expected to cost just over $2 billion United States dollars, and this is expected to be spent over the next 3 years. This is the amount of money that will be spent up to the time of production. When production commences, another 1.5 billion United States dollars will be spent over the 20 years when the field will be produced. This money will be spent in operation and maintenance of the field. At the end of 2022, a total of 1.7 billion United States dollars had been invested in the development of this oil field. About $580 million is expected to be invested in the Kingfisher development project in this year, which we have started. And a similar amount, about $580 million, is expected to be invested in 2024. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is regulating costs for this project and the other oil projects through approving work programs and budgets by the oil companies, approving of procurement processes, and 24-hour on-site monitoring of the implementation of the work being undertaken by the licensed companies. The costs which will be recovered when production starts are finally approved by the Office of the Auditor General. The cost of producing oil from this Kingfisher oil field is estimated to be about $22 per barrel, and this compares very well with the international average of about $30 per barrel. The economics of the Kingfisher project indicate that the project is economically viable at $35 per barrel. At the current oil price, which is about $87 per barrel, the Kingfisher oil project will account for about 15% of the total oil revenue which government expects to receive from its oil and gas resources. 15% because the bigger production is going to be from the Tilenga project, which is operated by Total. This will bring a total 6.9 billion United States dollars to government coffers over the entire period of the project. And this is averaging about $360 million per year from this Kingfisher oil field. The numbers are more when you add on the amounts that are expected from the Tilenga project. All the petroleum data that has been acquired by government and by the oil companies in this entire Albertine Graben since the work began is fully archived in a modern data center at the offices of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda in Entebbe. The data for this oil field, together with the data from the other oil fields, is accessible and continues to be used in regulating the sector, but also in promoting the country's petroleum potential. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is now putting in place a real-time monitoring center. This is a facility where information from all the activities in the oil and gas sector will be relayed and received in real time. Real time means that they will be received as they happen. The plan is to have this real-time monitoring center in place before the end of 2024. The authority works with the National Environment Management Authority and other agencies like the UNBA, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, to ensure the strictest environmental and safety practices and technology in the planning, execution, and decommissioning of the oil and gas projects in Uganda, including this Kingfisher oil project. In this regard, CNOOC Uganda Limited undertook an environmental and social impact assessment for the project, and this involved 2 public hearings and other consultative processes, and this environmental and social impact assessment was approved by the National Environment Management Authority during March 2020 for implementation. An environment and health, safety, and social management framework, which includes environment and social management plans, oil spill contingency plans, and emergency preparedness and response plans, has been developed to monitor and manage any potential negative impacts to the environment, including Lake Albert and its host communities. The facility for treating petroleum waste that will be generated from this project has been set up using the latest waste treatment technology and is ready to receive and treat waste, as you have experienced this afternoon, Your Excellency. The contract to manage and treat waste from this project is being executed by a consortium of a Ugandan company, Uwero Industries, a subsidiary of the UPDF, and an international firm from China. The President of China has talked about the employment of Ugandans. I'll talk about the provision of goods and services. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda has approved 92 contracts since the final investment decision was announced at the beginning of 2022 for the Kingfisher project. These contracts totaled $1 billion United States dollars. And out of these, contracts worth $270 million have been awarded to Ugandan companies, mainly in the areas of civil works, hospitality management, transportation, and ICT. The authority would like to congratulate the Ugandan companies here, which are doing a very good job in this regard. They have met the standards. Ugandan companies like Excel in civil works, companies like DDG for transportation and logistics, companies like City Medicals on the health side, and companies like Newrest and GCC on the hospitality management. As the President mentioned, the project is giving an opportunity for skills development and has so far trained over 700 youth in vocational skills like welding, heavy goods vehicle driving, pipe fitting, electrical, and other skills. The other important aspect is the transfer of technology. Transfer of technology in the oil and gas sector is mainly achieved through joint venturing. Out of the 30 joint ventures which the Petroleum Authority has approved, 6 are being implemented at the Kingfisher project. These joint ventures are in areas of civil works, logistics, and provision of medical services. And these are joint ventures between Ugandan and international companies, and they are facilitating the transfer of technology to the Ugandan partners in the joint ventures. The authority thanks the international companies that are participating in these joint ventures for accepting to share their technology and building the capacity of Ugandans. As I conclude, Your Excellency, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda has granted CNOOC Uganda Limited consent to drill the first 3 production wells of the Kingfisher oil field following satisfaction of the legal and regulatory requirements. And these legal and regulatory requirements include the preparation and submission of geological well proposal that meets the standards. The second one is the submission of a drilling program that adequately addresses the requirements of the well drilling process. The third one is the satisfaction of the requirements of the technically adequate drilling rig that will achieve the objectives of the wells. And the fourth is the company has put in place measures to ensure safety of persons, equipment, and the environment. The approval of the subsequent wells, which will be drilled by CNOOC on the Kingfisher field, will be considered when their applications are submitted and similar requirements fulfilled. As the regulator of the country's oil and gas sector, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is committed to ensuring that the oil and gas activities in the country are carried out with the highest standards to ensure optimum recovery of the oil and gas resources from the ground, application of the best technology available on the market, safety of persons, environment and equipment, as well as maximizing of national participation through contracts, training, and employment of Ugandans. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda works with all stakeholders to ensure a successful, sustainable oil and gas projects in Uganda. Your Excellency, this journey of Uganda's oil and gas sector has been long. Sometimes it has been very difficult, especially when the investors negotiate and bargain very hard. But this journey is being undertaken cautiously and with steadfastness, and we are now seeing the value as we approach first oil. I would like, on behalf of the authority, to sincerely thank Your Excellency the President for your leadership in this regard. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is also very appreciative of the support we receive from the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development and her team at the ministry, but also from all the other ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Finally, the authority would like to encourage the people of Buhuka, Chikube, and Bunyoro region, and Uganda in general, to continue supporting CNOOC Uganda Limited and the other joint venture partners in this work that they are doing. But we would also like to encourage all Ugandans to continue looking out for and taking advantage of the opportunities which the oil and gas sector has brought to this country. It's important to note that these opportunities are very large and very intense in these 4 or 5 years. After the 5 years, when the infrastructure has been built, the project will go into operation and maintenance. The opportunities for goods and service provision and employment will reduce drastically, up to about 20%. So it's important that we don't let these 4 or 5 years pass, because nothing will wait because the Ugandans are not ready. I thank you for listening to me, and I say all this for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ernest Lubondo. Ladies and gentlemen, for purposes of those who were watching us earlier and probably missed on one of the key activities His Excellency the President participated in, we had the launch of the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology and NEC equipment. Your Excellency, this partnership is with the local company Rohi. So I wanted first the National Council of Science and Technology to stand for recognition. Please stand so that they are. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And also the team from NEC that are partnering with the National Council for Science and Technology. I think General Sabiti will stand to represent his colleagues at NEC. Round of applause. And the team from Rohi, the local company that will be working with the NEC and the Council Rohi, is also represented. We want to thank you, Your Excellency. The team will, of course, be very critical in supporting the contractor on this project, specifically the civil works on this project, and this partnership will procure the equipment. Some of the equipment we saw here today will also provide skilling to some of our staff and members, including those from Chikube, who will be part of the civil projects that will be happening here, especially supporting the central processing facility that is commissioned under CCJV by CNOOC. So that in itself, including, and the Honourable Minister for Science and Technology told me, there will be a school that will be helping in, of course, working on the spare parts of the equipment that will be used on these oil fields. So we want to thank that team for this partnership and, of course, increasing the local content on this project. May I now take the pleasure of inviting His Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellency Zhang Lizhong, to come and make your remarks.
Your Excellency, Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency, Jessica Lopo, the Vice President of Uganda, Honorable Ministers, MPs, distinguished guests, very good afternoon. First of all, on behalf of the Chinese government, I wish to express our warmest congratulations on the successful spudding of Kingfisher oil field in Uganda. Aspirations for a better life is a dream shared by all. And today, one dream is realizing in Uganda. Thank you. Today's spudding ceremony, when we look back, is an important milestone in the development of Uganda's oil industry and will definitely have far-reaching impacts on the socio-economic transformation of Uganda. Following the announcement of FID less than 1 year ago on February 1st, 2022, with the full support and efforts of all parties, the construction work of CNOOC on the project has been advanced on all fronts. At the same time, I'm sure spudding ceremony launched today is also a landmark event in China-Uganda cooperation. The Kingfisher oil field project invested by CNOOC is so far China's largest investment project in Uganda. I firmly believe that it will contribute more to the practical cooperation between our two countries. In this connection, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the Uganda government, especially Your Excellency, for ensuring a long-term stable and political social environment in Uganda, and for providing a pro-business environment for foreign investors, including Chinese investors in Uganda. Your Excellency, the year 2023 is of great significance for both China and China-Africa relationship. The 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China was successfully convened last October, drawing a blueprint for future development of China and providing new opportunities for global development. China will embark on a new journey to build a modern socialist country on all fronts. China aims to realize the second centenary goal of building a great modern socialist country in all respects and to advance the rejuvenation of Chinese nation through Chinese path to modernization. To this end, China has adopted a two-step strategic plan. Step one is to basically realize socialist modernization from 2020 through 2035. Step two is to build China into a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful from year 2035 through the middle of this century. The year 2023 marks the 10th year since our President Xi Jinping put forth in the year 2013 the principles of sincerity, real results, amity, and good faith, and of pursuing the great good and shared benefits, shared interests for China's relationship with Africa. China will work with Africa to speed up the delivery of outcome of 8th FOCAC Ministerial Conference and promote further development of Belt Road cooperation. This year is a critical year of implementing the 9 programs of China-Uganda cooperation. The 9 programs were announced by President Xi Jinping at the opening ceremony of the 8th FOCAC Ministerial Conference in November 2021. And both China and Uganda are working closely to implement the key projects for the 9 programs, especially those but beautiful, quick-acting, and people-beneficiary projects in sectors such as rice, fisheries, husbandry, bamboo, mushrooms, etc., with a view to achieving mutual benefit and win-win results. Your Excellency, China and Uganda have enjoyed comprehensive cooperative partnership thanks to the guidance and leadership of His Excellency President Xi Jinping and Your Excellency. We have just successfully celebrated the 60th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations throughout the year 2022 with a series of colorful commemorative activities. Over the past decade, especially in recent years, under the leadership of His Excellency President Xi Jinping and Your Excellency, the political mutual trust between our 2 countries keeps on growing. China appreciates the positive role played by the Uganda side in maintaining regional peace and stability. The 2 countries have supported each other closely in international arenas on important issues of mutual concern. China-Uganda bilateral relations are their best in history now. But most important, the relationship faces great opportunities ahead. Standing at a new historical starting point, China is ready to support Uganda in hosting the summit of the heads of state and government of non-aligned movement this year, and will continue to make efforts to elevate China-Uganda cooperation, speed up the delivery of the outcomes of the 8th FOCAC Ministerial Conference to inject more impetus and vitality to China-Uganda comprehensive cooperative partnership. In particular, we will work closely to expand bilateral trade by making full use of the tariff-free treatment covering 98% of listed items for Uganda's export to China. We will promote China-Uganda tourism cooperation as a direct flight from Entebbe to China's Guangzhou opens soon. China will continue to support Uganda's infrastructure development, and in the meantime, we'll work together to ensure more small but beautiful livelihood projects be implemented to benefit more people in both countries. As the new year begins, everything takes on a new look. As Chinese saying goes, a great journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I wish a full success of the spudding and early realization of the first oil barrel in Uganda. I thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, surely another big round of applause for the ambassador, because this has been of special interest to us. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the Permanent Secretary, who is going to quickly come and take over this small part that is coming, allow me in a very special way recognize the team from the Ministry of Energy. Please stand for recognition. The Ministry of Energy team. All of you stand. May we put our hands together for this team that is doing a very good job. We thank you, sir, and ladies from the ministry. I also now want, in a very, very special way, Your Excellency, and I was told by the members of parliament before they left that Chikube is like my village in Kisoro. They vote 100%, Ijana Kwijana. So Chikube, really, our Chikube people, I want you to stand. We want to see the representation of Chikube. The leaders who are here and the entire team from Chikube, please stand for recognition. Our district leaders, please stand. We thank you for the support to this project and CNOOC. I now take the pleasure of inviting the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Engineer Irene Batebe, to come and make her very short, Your Excellency, she said very short speech, and invite the Honorable Minister.
Your Excellency, retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, Your Excellency, General Jessica Lupo, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Ministers, all protocol observed. In the interest of time, we'll keep this very short. As the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we are delighted to be at this momentous occasion signifying the commencement of drilling for the Kingfisher oil field that is operated by CNOOC Uganda. Please note that this particular area is a joint venture partnership where the Uganda National Oil Company holds 15% in the joint venture, so CNOOC is also an investor in this particular area. And then CNOOC is a 28.3% shareholder and Total Energies at 56.7%. CNOOC is the operator for this Kingfisher area. So we want to congratulate CNOOC as the Ministry of Energy for reaching this very important milestone. And for us as a country, this implies that we are now about to join one of the largest oil producers in Africa, following behind Angola, Nigeria, Algeria, Libya, and Egypt. So our reserves at 6.4 billion barrels about, of which 1.4 billion barrels is recoverable, are quite substantial to support our oil and gas development. And it's important to note that these only represent less than 40% of the Albertine Graben that has been explored. Following the discovery of these resources, we continue to work on exploration of additional areas, including the Karamoja region. So there is expectation that we will have additional petroleum resources. As the Ministry of Energy, briefly, we did put in place an oil and gas policy of 2008 that we are currently revising, but at this particular occasion, we thought it's important to highlight the key milestones we've achieved in ensuring we implement our policy objectives quickly. Our very first objective was to ensure efficiency in licensing areas with the potential for oil and gas production in the country. And we are happy to report, and today's testament, that we attracted the right companies to walk this journey with us as we continue to develop our own capacity through the Uganda National Oil Company. We will continue to attract additional investments in the sector as we also develop that internal capacity. We did set another objective to establish and efficiently manage the country's oil and gas resource potential, and we committed to put in place a robust institutional framework, and we are happy to report, and the submission from Petroleum Authority is also evidence of the institutional framework we have put in place. So today, we do have the Directorate of Petroleum in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development that is tasked with promotion and licensing, ensuring we are bringing on board additional reserves. But we also have the Petroleum Authority of Uganda as our robust regulator to ensure compliance in the sector. Alongside those two entities, we definitely have the Uganda National Oil Company that handles our commercial interests in the different projects. So as we speak, the National Oil Company is investing both in the upstream, both in Kingfisher, but also in Tilenga at 15% in both of these areas. But additionally, they are also investing on behalf of government in the oil refinery at 40%, and the 60% is a private sector investor. But again, in the East African crude oil pipeline, the National Oil Company is equally investing at 15%. That goes to speak to this objective where we did commit to develop our institutional capacity. The other objective was to efficiently produce the country's oil and gas resources, and we are happy to report that the Directorate of Petroleum in the ministry, working together with the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, have taken time to interrogate all the development plans for all our areas of operation. And this is part of the product of that effort to approve our field development plans and ensure that they are providing the optimal plans for our oil and gas development, including aspects to enhance recovery, to improve on the volumes that we will recover from our crude oil resources. The other objective is to promote valuable utilization of the country's oil and gas resources, and we are happy to also report that we are on track on that, and the Honorable Minister will update us on the oil refinery as one of our premier projects to ensure that we are adding value to our oil and gas resources. In addition to the oil refinery, we are putting in place a bespoke petrochemical-based industrial park. Once again, this will be managed and developed by the Uganda National Oil Company. It is meant to ensure we are able to benefit from the byproducts that will come from the refinery, but also any other products, including gas. So this petro-based industry will look at aspects of petrochemicals, but also fertilizers and other projects such as ammonium nitrate production. The other objective we committed to is to promote the development of suitable transport solutions which give good value to the country's oil and gas resources. We are happy to report that following the preparation of a national strategy and plan for petroleum transportation and storage facilities, this strategy has gone a long way to inform our development for the East Africa crude oil pipeline, but also a planned pipeline that will evacuate refined products from the industrial park about 19 kilometers from here to Hoima, and then finally to Namwabula in Impiji. So this particular product pipeline will enable us to evacuate the refined products from the refinery. We are also working on a number of pipelines to evacuate the crude oil from here to a central hub at the Kabale Industrial Park. So we have also ensured that this objective is progressed, and we are now adding another project to this. We are working with the Republic of Tanzania to ensure that we can also import natural gas to supplement our gas resources. So on this objective, there is quite some progress, and we'll continue to develop these suitable transport solutions. Finally, I wanted to emphasize aspects of revenue collection because we do work with Ministry of Finance significantly to ensure that we are putting in place the right legal and regulatory framework to support the prudent management of our oil and gas revenues. So working with Ministry of Finance, and we want to thank them for their support, we have put in place an oil and gas revenue management policy, and following that, we also addressed aspects of petroleum revenue management in the Public Finance Management Act. So we want to build confidence in the wider public that the revenues from these oil and gas resources will be put to good use to ensure that we support our infrastructure development. And in order to ensure accountability, we even went ahead to join the Extractives Industries Transparency Initiative to ensure that at a global level we are open, and we have had the first assessment, and we are on track as a country in our efficient utilization of these resources. Your Excellency, as I close, we want to thank you for your continued guidance and spearheading the development of the oil and gas subsector. And I equally want to thank the Minister, together with her colleagues, for the continued leadership they are providing in the ministry, and also the district leadership that we work with, both in Chikube, Hoima, and the other areas of our operation. We have a cordial working relationship with these district entities, and we pray that they will continue to support us in the next part of our development as we move into production. But I also wanted to leave a challenge with the districts, especially Kikube, to pay attention to the land use aspects. We worked with Ministry of Lands to put in place a plan for this area, including Sebagoro, Bulisa, and Butiaba. And we want to request the districts to pay attention and ensure that developments in these areas are adhering to these plans so that we avoid some of these mushrooming slums, because this is a very important project, and it's important that the surrounding speaks to the significance of the project. With that, I want to thank the ministry team that has been at the center of the preparations for this ceremony. I will request them to stand for a minute. They have spent sleepless nights, led by the Director of Petroleum, Mr. Malinga. Thank you very much for that effort. With that, without further ado, I now take this opportunity to congratulate CNOOC, but also together with your partners, CNOOC and Total Energies, and also then invite the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development to give her remarks. I thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and Your Excellency, the Vice President. The MC for this function warned us, and he said that he went through the protocol. So I want to obey and say that I have recognized all of you. First of all, I must thank God for this day. And I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for having accepted to turn up yourself and come and witness the beginning of the drilling at Kingfisher. what they call the spudding. It's just a preparation for the real drilling. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, allow me recognize the team that has been led by Her Excellency the Vice President. This is a team from Cabinet, and I want to thank her very much for having accepted to turn up, knowing very well that Your Excellency, you are going to be here and you are the chief guest. But she turned up with a team of ministers, the Minister of Finance, Omunyoro Matia Kasaija, MP Buyanja, the Attorney General, Omunyoro Chiwanuka Chiriowa, the Minister for Security, Omunyoro Jim Mukwez, the Minister for Science and Technology, Omunyoro Kati, Dr. Msenero, the Minister for Bunyoro, Minister of State for Bunyoro, Omunyoro Kati, Jennifer Namyangu, the Minister of State for Public Service, Omunyoro Kati, Mary Mogasa, the Minister of State for Health, Omunyoro Kati, and Ifa Kawoya. My colleagues, MPs, I have seen the MP from Hoima, the woman MP, Beatrice, from Hoima District. I have seen my colleague, Honorable Karubanga, MP for Chigorovia. I have seen Honorable Piasi Wakabi. Thank you very much for coming. The other MPs from Chikube were here and they spoke to us. I recognize all of you. Your Excellency, the board of CNOOC is here. The chairman is out of the country, but he's been represented by Mzee Nagimesi. I don't know where he's seated. The board of Petroleum Authority of Uganda is represented by the chair, Dr. Mlema. I hope she's here. You are most welcome. It is my pleasure and honor to be here today with all of you to witness this important ceremony, the commencement of drilling of the wells for the Kingfisher oil field, which is operated by China North Offshore Oil Company, Uganda Limited, the famous CNOOC. This is yet another exciting moment, coming with a span of less than 1 year after the announcement of the final investment decision for the upstream and midstream. This is the East African crude oil pipeline projects. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for the guidance, the continued guidance right from the beginning. And I want to thank the ED Petroleum Authority, who has given us the history and the genesis of this very place. I had prepared to give you a short history of Kingfisher Field. Allow me jump that because of time, and many speakers, I think, have given us the background. But all in all, let me mention that the final investment decision that was elaborated by the ED POW for the upstream and the ECO project, which was announced on the 1st of February 2022, this signified the commitment of the licensed companies to finance the development of Uganda's oil and gas discoveries and to build a pipeline that will turn the land-linked Uganda into a significant crude oil producer and exporter. I therefore take this opportunity to congratulate CNOOC and its upstream partners, that is Total Energies, and CNOOC for achieving these milestones. the Kingfisher development area has gone through various succession phases, which implies that it has involved many players in my ministry, in local governments, and other central government ministries and departments and agencies. Allow me to take this opportunity to recognize their roles, add my voice to that of my permanent secretary, to recognize your roles and contributions towards what has been achieved and what we are witnessing today. I also take this opportunity in a special way to recognize the teams from my ministry and the agencies for their immense contributions and the roles played. I will not forget to mention the roles played by Dr. Fred Kabagambe Kalisa. Thank you so much. This is your senior presidential advisor on oil and gas and minerals. Let me also recognize Mr. Robin Kashambuzi, a retired commissioner of the Petroleum Exploration and Production Department at the initial exploration stages to the discoveries. Your Excellency, I will use this opportunity to mention the progress of the East African crude oil pipeline and the refinery. These are key infrastructure that facilitate what we are witnessing today. The upstream and midstream segments of the oil and gas sector are integrated. And in this regard, significant progress has been made in achieving the aspirations of the commercialization strategy for the crude oil. The legal and commercial framework for the East African crude oil pipeline was concluded with the enactment of the East African crude oil pipeline enabling legislations in both Uganda and in the United Republic of Tanzania. And on this note, I wish to thank His Excellency, the President of Uganda, together with his colleagues, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the Republic of Tanzania, for their steadfast support and guidance to this project. In a special way, I want to pay special tribute to His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli, may his soul rest in peace, for his exceptional commitment he had shown to the development of the East African crude oil pipeline. I want to thank Cabinet for your support, for all the papers that I present to you. You support me. I want to thank Parliament, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker and the members of Parliament who fast-tracked the passing of these important legislations. Thank you so much, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, the leader of government business, and the leader of the opposition. Your Excellency, we have been moving together with the opposition in Parliament on the development of our petroleum resources. Activists tried to interfere somehow, but we had a united voice and we were able to put in place all the laws that were required on good time. Works towards the development of the East African crude oil pipeline are currently ongoing, and this includes the engineering, procurement, and construction, the construction of the coating plant in Tabora, Tanzania, as well as the geotechnical investigations at the marine storage terminal in Tanga, and among the many activities that ECOP Company Limited is executing. The government and the ECOP Limited have been implementing the Resettlement Action Plan for the right-of-way and above-ground installations. And so far, more than 68% of the project affected persons in these areas have been compensated, while resettlement houses are under construction for the project-affected persons that opted for physical relocation. The ECOP Limited and government have also commenced the livelihood restoration programs for the affected persons along the pipeline corridor. Your Excellency, on this historic day, we are also honored to have you present as we hand over the East African Crude Oil Pipeline license to ECOP Company Limited. I'll be doing this shortly after my speech. The company applied for a license in July 2022 to construct the pipeline. We reviewed the application, found it satisfactory, and subsequently sought approval from Cabinet for the grant of license. And last week, the government approved and issued the license. The refinery project continues to register significant progress, and the Albertine Graben Energy Consortium undertook front-end engineering and design that was approved by government in July 2022. The environmental social impact assessment study is also near completion. Your Excellency, we have made sure that we leave no stone unturned on all the international requirements, because we know that not everybody wishes Uganda well, that not everybody wishes Africa well. So what we have done is to make sure that we have put in place all the requirements. So we are going to drill knowing that we have taken care of environmental, health, and safety issues. So the refinery company is required to enter into a number of agreements to facilitate the implementation of the refinery project in Uganda. And the key agreements include the implementation agreement, the shareholders agreement, the crude oil supply agreement, and the off-taker agreement, plus the financing agreements. And there is tremendous progress on all these agreements. And I want to thank the Attorney General for his continued guidance and participation in all these negotiations. Let me also talk about the additional acreage for licensing. It is important. Uganda is endowed with hard natural resources which we have not fully exploited or exhausted. So we are planning to go ahead and make sure that we optimize the chances that we have. And with the rapid developments of the upstream and the refinery and the ECOP, the country is cautious of the need to optimally utilize the infrastructure being put in place and the need to maximize value of its resources. And in this regard, Uganda has embarked on an ambitious process of encouraging more exploration to be undertaken to enable discovery of more resources. The country conducted the first licensing round, which resulted in the award of 3 exploration licenses to Oranto Petroleum Limited and Ama Energy Limited in 2017. Additionally, the government announced the second licensing round in May 2019 with 5 blocks on offer. This round progressed and Cabinet this month approved for signature of the production sharing agreements for 2 of the blocks, that is Chirako and Kasulubani blocks, and grant of their respective exploration licenses. In the same vein, and in line with the strategy to exploit our oil and gas resources in a sustainable manner, the country, through my ministry, is planning to announce the 3rd licensing round in this year, 2023, and probably May. The current resources are in the Albertine Graben, but Uganda has other basins that have the potential for oil and gas. And to this end, government is carrying out geological mapping and geophysical surveys in new areas, including Moroto-Kadama Basin in Karamoja. Before I invite the President, I will be inviting my colleague, the Minister of Energy from Tanzania, who is represented by His Excellency the Ambassador. I will be inviting you shortly, please. I want to take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to thank the NRM government under your visionary stewardship that has supported the oil and gas sector all this far. I know we are preparing to celebrate 37 years in existence as NRM, and the celebration will be in Kakumiro, in the Bunyoro region, and I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you, Your Excellency, but also to invite Ugandans to come and celebrate, because there are reasons for celebrations. We are now in the season of harvesting. Tuli mu makungula. We've been harvesting. We will continue harvesting. So congratulations, Ugandans, for the achievement that the government that you supported, that you fought for, that you've continued to support, is yet to deliver on many, many, many aspects. So, Your Excellency, I would like now to take this opportunity to invite my colleague, who is represented by the Ambassador. I will stand here and wait for you, because I will again be inviting the Ambassador and his dear wife, the Ambassador of China, who have a gift to present. So after His Excellency, the Ambassador has given his remarks, I will again invite the Ambassador of China to come and present their gift to His Excellency the President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for inviting me. Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, I would like to adopt all the introduction protocols by the previous speaker, especially the one from the Minister. I'm here to represent the Tanzanian government, especially the Minister for Energy, Honorable January Makamba, who has been assigned equally important duty, which he's performing actually today. That's why he's not here, and I'm here to represent him. First of all, I would like to thank my President, Samia Suluhu Hassan, for always supporting this project. And she has been working closely together with the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in all issues important to this project. On behalf of the Tanzanian government, I would like to emphasize and underline the commitment the Tanzanian government, the cabinet, the parliament, and the people about the ECO project. We are committed, and so far, the Tanzanian government has contributed about $121 million US dollar, which is equity to the ECO project, which is about 39%. And we are still processing other payments to make sure that we cover the 100% of our equity. Another thing which I would like to say is that the Tanzanian government have been paying compensation for project affected persons, and so far it has covered about 86%, and the 14% are still in process, and we are hoping that before the start of the project, the rest will be compensated. The government has also continued to work on the environmental matters to make sure that people understand. So there is sensitization which is still taking place, and the government is keen to make sure that all the issues related to the environment and the project will be done according to the international standard. And the government also continue the issue of construction of a coating plant, which is taking place in Tabora, as the minister said. So far, 70% has been done. There are 14 camps, and out of 14, 5 are complete. And we are quite certain that by the time when the project, the first oil drill starts here, then we'll be able to finish. The Tanzania will be ready for that. I also would like to inform that the machines for the coating plant are already there. They started to come from October last year, and now the work is taking place. And finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for making Tanzania as a strategic partner to this historical and strategic project. And as I said, Tanzania is very committed to this project, and we thank other partners to this project, the Ugandan government, Total Energies, CNOOC, and other partners who are stakeholders to this project. And therefore, we are, to conclude, I would like to thank the Tanzanian government, the Ugandan government, and all the stakeholders to this project. And I thank you all for listening.
I want to take this opportunity to invite the Ambassador, Your Excellency, Ambassador and your dear wife, Chinese Ambassador, to come forward and present your gift to His Excellency the President. As my PS prepares for the handover of the licenses to ECOP, we shall do it from here, where there is a photograph of the beautiful rig, I think. ECOP company representatives, please. Martin, Mr. Martin, please come forward and get the licenses. You are free to invite anyone to accompany you. So we shall give them only one copy, and then the rest we are taking back for sealing. We are also I thought you are a JV partner. This is petroleum refining, conversion, and transmission in a midstream storage. This is a license that we offered to the ECOP company to help us construct the crude oil pipeline, which is going to come from all the way from Hoima to Tanga, about 1,445 kilometer stretch. I use this opportunity on behalf of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to hand over this license to you. You know, Total and CNOOC, we are in it together, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we need your support. They're my directors.
Now go and work. We are beginning drilling today, so we need the pipeline also ready. I would like to use this as I invite Her Excellency the Vice President, I'm happy to announce that from the Tanzanian side, the eco license will be issued before end of this month, February 2023. Wow. Thank you so much for this commitment. I want to take this opportunity now to invite Her Excellency, the Vice President of Uganda, to come and invite our chief guest, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. You can go ahead and invite him, please.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, colleagues, ministers present, honorable members of Parliament, Excellencies, the ambassadors, development partners, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. As guided by the MC, Your Excellency, allow me to adopt the protocol which he articulated very ably. Your Excellency, allow me, on my behalf and on behalf of all the people of Uganda, to congratulate you on this very big milestone on the commencement of the drilling of oil and gas in our country. Your Excellency, the benefits which Uganda and the people of Uganda have achieved through your strategic leadership cannot be overemphasized. I will particularly restrict myself to the oil and gas industry, however, because of the constraints of time. For instance, allow me to note that with your strategic leadership style, you were able to first and foremost establish all the necessary requirements before government takes any step, even in the exploitation or exploration of our oil and gas. I recall vividly, Your Excellency, that you have always emphasized the development of our own indigenous skilled labor force or human resource. You even went ahead to establish Uganda Petroleum Institute, Chigumba, to train our own Ugandan students so that we work simultaneously with development partners for obvious reasons. Your Excellency, you also, through your visionary and wise leadership, ensure that we put in place the necessary policies and legal requirements which cover the oil and gas sector. And most importantly, you are always patiently guiding the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to ensure that they identify competent development partners and companies so that when we start the development of oil and gas, through all the processes, we have the correct partners. I would like to thank you for all those very clearly and well-calculated, thought-out ideas, which you have always given us as members of cabinet, which have enabled us to be here today to witness this historic occasion. But most importantly, of course, Your Excellency, we all know that the base of why we have development partners here today is because of the fundamental role that you have played in ensuring that Uganda is safe and secure. And with peace and security, we are therefore able to attract investors, but also participate in the transformation of our country. I have been requested to invite you, Your Excellency, to speak, but I would also like to thank the Minister of Energy, the Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, for inviting all of us here, members of Cabinet. We are very privileged to have received your invitation to come here and be part of this very auspicious occasion. And I have always reminded the Minister of Energy that when I was Minister of Education, we went to Trinidad and Tobago and we saw the rig with Professor Kwesiga, because Professor Kwesiga then was emphasizing that what is taking place in the workshops of Uganda Petroleum Institute, Chigumba, must be exactly what is happening in the rig. So we went and saw the rig in Trinidad and Tobago. We also went and saw the rig in Norway, Your Excellency. And I have always reminded the Honorable Nankabira, all I want to see is a rig. I also used to remind Honorable Muloni then that all I want to see is a rig. And even Honorable Kitutu, I used to remind her, Your Excellency, that all I want to see is a rig. Because I know with a rig, that is almost at the complete stage of the oil and gas exploitation. Your Excellency, with those few remarks, allow me now, having seen the rig today in Uganda, in Chikube district, allow me now to invite you to come and speak to us. The floor is yours, sir.
Kare mweware muna wagoma. Her Excellency the Vice President, His Excellency the Ambassador of China, His Excellency the Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania, the Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, the technical and administrative staff from the Ministry of Energy, n'abanyoro mwena n'abanyarokata bari hano nimbaramica mwena. The head of the Petroleum Authority, Engineer Rubondo, and the Permanent Secretary, Irene Batebe, and the Minister, and the head of the construction from China. They have given us the details of this project. So I will not repeat those again. The only thing I will say is, first of all, to congratulate everybody. This is because everybody did his part or her part that we are here now. The British had tried to look for this oil when they were here. From 1920, I read the file. They started looking for this oil in 1920. And what made them look for the oil were the seepages which were coming to the surface. Itaka likaba nilijua amajuta. Nuko bakubaza muri okujwa okujwa nuko bakubaza. The seepages were seen. Kibero linka. Erioku. Now at that place called Kibiro, the oil was oozing to the surface. That's why the place is called Kibiro. Kibiro is from Abanyoro Bakubaza Amizo Okubira. Nuko Barkubaza. Ningo Kusesa. Water boiling, how do you say it? Umunyoro mukibaza muta. Kuchamuka umunyoro tumurukurumanya. Kibiro okubira is when something is boiling. Therefore, the British had seen that oozing seepage, and they started looking for the oil in 1920. And they went on until 1956. I read the file of the Commissioner of Geology, who in 1956 wrote saying that this oil was there, but it evaporated and went away. So they gave up. At Kibiro Mahiro kilometers zinga okurugahan. Rubondo, why did the British miss this? You come and tell us how they missed it. Come. Because they actually drilled at Kibiro. I think they also drilled at Waki, but they missed the oil.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President. The method of exploration that was being used that time by the British was mainly based on following seepages of oil to try and locate oil reservoirs. Usually, when oil seepages appear on the ground, on the surface, now we know that usually it's because either the reservoir has been overfilled and is spilling, or actually the cover of the reservoir, which is called a cap rock, has been broken, and so the oil is spilling. The new method of exploration, which was used in Uganda by the trained team when we came in place, was to recognize that the best way to look for oil is not by following oil seepages, but by looking for structures in the ground which have the potential to accumulate oil. Therefore, one of the surveys that was undertaken by the teams in those early stages were geophysical surveys that is running with equipment on the surface with a view to identify structures.
Okteri itaka kuritera X-ray.
Yes, sir.
Ngoko muntu ari kugenda mu X-ray bakarora ebirumunda nuko bakora abana nabo bagenda ahiguri itaka barora ebiri omunda okwo. Is that not the idea?
Your Excellency, that's the idea. You get the picture in the subsurface.
But why was the seepage far away from why was it not near the structures or?
Well, Your Excellency, is that when the structures are filled to spill, usually the structure is like let's say a basin which is turned upside down. So the oil is inside the basin but covered. So what happens is that when the basin is full, the oil starts escaping from the edge of the basin. The edge of the basin.
So it may not surface near?
It may not surface near, but it may also not surface on top of the basin.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay. So you can see now how the British missed the oil, which was good. It was good that they missed it. But when we came into government, a few days when I was in Entebbe, a group from Shell BP came and told me that they wanted to sign an agreement with me about oil exploration in Lake Albert. You Ugandans, this Lake Albert, in our language here we call it Muitanzige. That's the name of this, what they call Lake Albert. Muitanzige, Murinyoro, Muitanzige in Runyankore. It means the lake that kills the locusts. The locusts could not cross this lake. They would drown there and you find them floating. And it was called Muitanzige. So these people said they were sure there was oil here. I think they had seen those. We had done the aeromagnetic survey 1980, 79, when we came with Benaisa. You remember UNRF, we had done the aeromagnetic. So the aeromagnetic was now the X-ray, which saw those structures in the ground. And because of that, this Shell wanted me to, and they said they were about to sign with Obote, but Obote had collapsed and run away. I said, Amajuta. Nyebi Amajuta ndabimanyanta. Nyondi museja muhekera. Ebyo kurisente nimbimanya. Okulima muhogo ninkumanya. Bete bya Amajuta. Tikubimanya ebyo. So I told them that let me check. I don't know anything about petroleum. Let me check whether in the government they have people who know. So I told them to go away. Then I asked the Minister of Minerals that time. I called people who were there. There was also a man called Souru Mboijana, who was like a commissioner. He had been with me at Ntare. And I said, do you know anything about petroleum? They said, no, we don't know. But there is an expert in petroleum in the Bank of Uganda. I said, you call me that expert. They called him. The man was from Ghana, Accra. And the only way he was connected with the petroleum is that he was the one handling the import papers of petroleum products in Uganda. That is how he was the expert. Nuwe yabe na saka majuta nuko yabera fokere omukugo mbya majuta. So I called back this Shell BP. I said, you people, I cannot sign an agreement with you because I have nobody on my side who knows anything about petroleum. So go away. And that's how I called the minister, Chango Macho, and the PS, called Opio, and I said, you people, look for Ugandans who have a Bachelor of Chemistry, Bachelor of Geology, Bachelor of Physics. They go for a master's in petroleum studies. Then when they come back, they will be the ones to guide us after they have studied. So I think that's how these Kabagambe, Karisas, and the others, Kashambus and others, were selected to be the first group who went in 1987, and they came back 1989. Now, when they came back, I called Shell BP. Shell BP, you come, I now have got some people who know something about petroleum. Shell said, no, there's no petroleum there. It was a mistake. Really? But you are the ones who told me. For them, the Soviet Union had opened up. There was a lot of oil in the Soviet Union. So Shell BP was no longer interested in this petroleum here. But then I told these people here, I said, no, but you studied. You now look for the oil. You. These are the ones who looked for this oil, these people here. And they saw those structures, the ones which are, they could even bring me, even for me, in my office, in the computer. I could also see them. Therefore, what now remained was to get somebody to drill and confirm what they are seeing in the computer, whether it is what is happening in the ground. And that's what eventually resulted into this discovery in 2006. So therefore, I first of all thank God for giving me that warning. Say, reka kutomere bya abantu. My advice to leaders, avoid okutomera. Okutomera is omundu uzeti numukimanyi mu abanyoro. Okutomera numukimanyi kirimo mu runyoro. Okutomera is the word in our dialects here. Runyoro, Rutoro, Nyankore, Ruchiga, and the other dialects. Even in Uganda, I think, even in Uganda it is the same. Meaning bumping into issues of Africa. Ensonga za Africa, tinsonga za okutomera. Korobota kumanya kintu, oyechureze, obuze, okaguze. Leka kwefora nkarukumanya kandi wotakumanya. Nyo bya majuta nibimanyanta. Nyo musejo musita. Aikara na risente. Omukusoma tinda somere bya majuta. Mpimba majuta ga Uganda ngatware ntakumanya hinda gatwara. Tumukurora kabe akaliyaho. You young people, you should be very careful. I was a young person like you people. And petroleum was very exciting. I would have been very excited. Uganda. Tindu kugonza, kutomera, ebintu yabantu, bintarukumanya. That's what I told those people. So I'm very happy. These people who went for training, when they came back, they didn't let us down. They did what I sent them out to do, and we were able to discover the petroleum. So I thank them very much. I salute them. And I also salute Minister Changomacho, the late, and the PS or PO, because normally these civil servants also don't implement. Maybe Kawagambe Karisa, you can come, you take a store, because again, Dabitao. Ijo was a Mourinho round. Kawagambe Karisa. Mourinho Rabano, Warhur Rabano.
Waitu, Your Excellency, oreijuka nti otwabe na mitingi ebiro 10 February 1986.
Atuhurira nkaba ntahire mu government 26 10 February bakaba abajungu bakaba bezire kuntaisaho mukana handagano yintakumanyi
twahanura then
mukaija noha
tukaija nomukyala Janet Opio
PS
nomunyoro Saulo Mbojana na nyowe nyonka bandi musigazi ni tuwarabina tisezo obwiro obwo omunyoro Changomacho ukabobwa pointing ile beta takatandikire
okay
ati watugira nti tumazire gukora discussion eri yenyuma wachwamu ebintu bisatu ikyo kubanza wagira nti tugende tusome ebyamafuta ekya kabiri wachwamu nti tukole promotion kogamba tusere tulole nti ebituseruire tubiteire harupapura hansi investment promotion. Then ekya kusatu wachwamu wagira nti oturamara kuteka ebintu harupapura nibo tuwete kampuni kuija abakampuni kuija kukora omulimu ogukiraho kandi nabo tuba monitoringe kurungi tulole nti tubaroziriki kibakora. So niyo discussion egyo mbigufu
ati ababandize genda kusoma niba
ati ni nyowe n'obunyoro Kashambuzi bantu babiri ati utwabwiraho.
What did Janet Opio do after that?
Janet Opio was the permanent secretary, and she continued with the administration, ensuring that people go out there.
So she put out an advertisement, or what did she do?
No, she didn't. Well, she did later, but for us, we were already employed in government.
You selected from
inside, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Akagama timu mugende.
Mugende. Then in what twarugireyo twarora omunyoro Rubondo oguya balamba isatu n'omunyoro Kasande n'omunyoro Malinga kuli abuno bagarukira batch ya kabiri.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So you can see now here very important lessons for you people. Oktomera. Why do you have? These are public issues. These are not resources of Museveni as a person. They are public resources of the country. How would I take on the responsibility and think, okay, I will do it when I don't know? I couldn't. So I want to thank these scientists. When they came back, they did their work. I also want to salute the oil companies, the partners, because as you see, we started with smaller companies, Heritage, Talo, and so on, but eventually we got stronger companies like CNOOC and Total. These are stronger companies in terms of money and experience and resources. So I also thank them, and now I want to thank CNOOC for moving, because now they have moved. They have moved. I hope the others are also moving. So I want to congratulate them. But I want also to thank the government of China, because the Chinese government, these companies, many of them are government companies. So when they come here because they are encouraged by their government. The government of China has been working with Africa from 1949, when Mao Zedong took power in China, replacing the old groups. So all this time we have been working together on the anti-colonial struggle, but now on the issue of economic cooperation for mutual benefit. So we are now moving very well. I thank them. I thank the oil companies and the Chinese government, but also the government of France. I haven't heard them making trouble as a government. I heard the European Parliament, which we told to go to hell, but I didn't hear the French government making any trouble. So we are therefore moving forward with the oil. This oil is not a problem at all, because, first of all, the carbon dioxide, which comes from these fossil fuels, is not necessarily a problem if it is handled well. Because carbon dioxide, as you know, you who studied biology, and I studied biology 60 years ago, 1964. You know photosynthesis, how the plants capture carbon dioxide from the air. They use the sun energy through photosynthesis, and they make food. They make food for themselves, but also for us. So really, carbon dioxide, it is the misuse, it is the greed, which eventually causes problems. But for us here, we are very careful. We shall develop our oil resource, but also develop solar energy. Solar energy is our ancient energy, we Africans. Itu tukala ntwanika ebintu, kwanika kwetu kwaira, okozesa izoba, ntukimanya. So we are going to use the solar power, the wind power, the hydro power, we shall use them. But also the oil, as we develop the others. And even when the others are fully developed, still petroleum is needed for other products, not necessarily for fuel. The shirt I'm putting on has got some polyester in it. And polyester is from petrol. We need tar to make chorus or calling wood. We need the fertilizers, nitrogen from the ammonia. You heard of ammonia. All these are from petroleum. So we can use the petroleum responsibly. The other ones cause problems for the world, for the global warming, because of greed, because they are greedy for money. They don't think about anything else. They are the ones who cause all these problems. So therefore, this petroleum resource will be here for a long time. We shall use it. And as you hear, we have got more. This one here, the 6.5 billion, which Irene Batebe was talking about, is only in 40% of the Mwitanzige Ruchuru. The other lake, what they call Edward, the Banyarwanda call it Ruchuru. For us, we call it Butumbi Lake. So this where the oil is now, that has been confirmed, 6.5 billion, is in only 40% of the Mwitanzige Butumbi Valley. So there's another 60% of that valley where we're going to look for more oil. So we may end up with much more oil than we are talking about. Then, as you heard, we have got other areas like the Kadam Moroto Basin. I think even somebody was talking of some other areas. Which are the other areas? Are there only two, or which? Malinga. Which are the other areas? Are they only what they call the Arbatine, Grabin, and Kadam Moroto?
Your Excellency, we have other basins. In addition to Albertine Graben, we have the Kadam Moroto Basin, the Choga Basin.
Choga is which one now?
North of Choga, Lake Choga.
Lango?
Yes.
Lango Kabiramaido?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Then also we are looking at the Hoima Basin, which is between Hoima and Masin. It is an old basin. When the rifting took place, that basin was covered.
Oh, the Kafu area?
Yes, please.
River Kafu?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so, you people... So we shall look for all these oils and use them carefully. Use them carefully for a long time. So therefore, I congratulate everybody. We are here to celebrate. We shouldn't talk too much. Now, for the people of the area, okuleja numwichuka nkabagamba okuleja enjura kwegwa oleja amaizi abaganda bakyeta okurembeka okutangiriza. Now, okay, I have heard of these what they call local content and all that, but for me the biggest local content which all of you can participate in is agriculture, producing food. Because all these people who work in the oil fields need food. Nobody has computers, bano. No, araruzino muntu nali ya computer. Nobody achi? Yes. Grow food so that these people buy food from you people. Eggs, chicken, milk, all those foods, vegetables. That is one of the areas where you can collegia to benefit from the population which is now being gathered here by the oil project. Now, bete chindi environment. I flew over Bugoma forest. I think some people are encroaching on Bugoma forest. Ndozera abantu bataha mu kibira. Imuntu mbarora. Bali abakutaha mu kibira niba ekya Bugoma. Amran tumusime alinka RDC. Abantu bindozire mabataha mu kibira nibantu ki mwebara okulima ebichori beitu okutaha mu kibira kitu kya sitani abakutaha mu kibira nibaha tumusime.
Mr. President, Mr. President, abakutaha mu kibira nibo benyira ba NFA abayenefu abasemere kirolera nibo kandi batekayo abantu batema ya makana
ninja kubakwata ninja kureta ebyoma byange nibitera mapu nuje kurora ikindi abakora. we need the forest. That forest, and the forest has got a big river. Guri omugera gundozere nuguha tumusime. Ndozero omugera guri mu kibira. Omugera ogwo nuguha.
Mr. President, tinchetegeze kurungi.
Omugera river.
Ekisaraba chetangu nguse.
Oh, Nguse, this is a big river. It's a big river. We used to cross it when we were fighting. Umbagambere baribyo mu kibera emzumu yetu reje kubaretera ebizibu. Emzumu y'abarwani y'abahekera reje kubaretera ebizibu. I'm going to make a map. I will use my UAVs in the Bantere. I will capture everybody who is in the Nani. Yeah. So please, that forest is very, very important. You can see how God helped us. This is fantastic. This oil you are talking about was made by God here. Because that oil you are talking about is coming from mainly plants. Plants which were buried in the Rift Valley here, but coming from the escarpment are the ones which are squeezed to produce the oil. So the forests are very crucial. You hear the other forests which were in the Kafu side. You cannot say the oil and the maize are more important than the forest. No, or the rivers, because the rivers, because the maize, all the other crops, our livelihood is from the water and from the forest. Ekyo mukimanye ngo obwomezi nuburgo mu maize, amaize nigarugo mu kibira, nigarugo mu bisaru. Iyo kwefora ngo norima ebichori, norima sente, torukufa kibira, torukufa habisaru, nobo fokiro munyanzigwa wa Uganda. I have written all the other points which were raised by the LC1. A secondary school here. This is a clever, because going over the escarpment to study is really difficult. We shall have to build a secondary school here for the Rift Valley. The Health Center 3, Health Center 3 is no problem. You can continue with Health Center 3. We shall put doctors at Health Center 3. Abasaho weyongere, ntuja kuta abasaho at Health Center 3. Then Ebidieri, Ogenda Congo, that's a very good idea. Over the LC1 okumpa magezi gabusa. LC1 apera magezi ntamusaswiri, apera magezi. Ebidieri kugenda Congo. Amasanyalazi, nankabirwa. Nankabirwa oyo, na mwala we muganda we batebe, balina amasanyalazi agasagire omulinyoro kirumu okusaga kirumu bano balina amasanyalazi agafisewo n'okusasula nsasula n'olwekyo neewuunya okuwulira nti ate mmwe mukaba amasanyalazi ate neetaaga abanangulako amasanyalazi gange kubanga gafisewo. Now you can hear. You have got excess electricity. These people are crying for power. They are ready to consume it. Please. I leave the matter with you now. So intensify the transformers so that these people consume the power, which is where, because we have got surplus power. The land evictees. I don't know who is on my team who can follow up with Omona, follow up with Amaran. These people who are displaced. Follow up with the RDC. I've been hearing that story for a long time. Sectarianism. ogwara kuleta okubaganisa abantu baitu hanu stane neja ruhanga neja kumbihirwa, because Bunyoro was a place of many groups from long ago. Therefore, anybody who promotes, you give me a detailed brief, I can be able to deal with those people. Also work with Omona. Omona, these people of Chikube, they have one pilot who is training at Soroti. They want me to pay for her. I will pay for her. That's no problem. Kandi omusichoma kuvuga nyunya rigire Chikube nawo arandemo. Kaboya Changwari Road tibakagikoraga. Katwikaide tujibaza muno kare tumutumire mwihire. Customary land titles, that's very good. That's a very good advice from Mharaway to customary. It's a secure land tenure, so if it needs to give papers, we shall give you papers of customary land ownership. Now, chile cha border association betaga sente, but that money is already there. Emyoga, in the Emyoga, there is money for border, there is money for all those Emyoga. Border is one of them. What is the problem? Amran, which our border but our sente is Emyoga.
Okitiza President webale muno program y'emyoga Chikube tugikoze kurungi almost buli category zona zikatunga sente kandi ati tuli mu phase ya kabiri okwenda kutunga milioni 200. Aba bahona bagambire ni hira basokwa bataregisteringira beta registeringi bone sente bakatunga.
So mkwatagana na RDC abo bona emyoga ni kimanyisa ebyo buri group abaino omurimo gwabo tukabatwara nkomoga kandi bari 18 ekya muhero si wanu museja kubaza kurungi atandetera kisirani abere na tere empamo mu Runyoro nuko bakukibaza na tere empamo ngokurubata kwa mjwahya umuseja kamukamwe akapikipiki asigara nako hano inja kumuha milioni 5 ayegurire pikipiki milioni 5 izo bazukwereza hati. So with these few words, I congratulate everybody and I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for His Excellency the President. Your Excellency, just one more request. After the anthems, we'll have some photos, Your Excellency, and we would like to request that those categories of people I will mention at that time will make their way and have these photos with the President. But I will only call you when that moment comes. May we now stand, ladies and gentlemen, for the anthems. Anthems, please, in reverse order. please take your seats as we also ask protocol that will be handling the chairs to prepare the chairs. So I want in a very special way to thank all of you on behalf of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and also thank our hosts, the CNOOC team, CNOOC Uganda Limited, for hosting us, our joint venture partners, Total Energies, UNOC, and of course, CNOOC, our hosts today, and all our stakeholders who are here. We'll have a few photos taken very shortly, and as we await the principal, I want to take the singular honor of appreciating all the people that were behind today's triple celebration. Of course,
UBC, inspiring Uganda. On the 26th of January 2023, Uganda